Hello and welcome to Brookdale Newsmakers, your source for what's going on in and around campus here in Brookdale Community College. My name is Dominic Sama, the president of the Brookdale Student Life Board, and here with me is a newly graduated member of the class of 2022 and someone who has been very active around campus, and may I add, the first president of the brand new Food and Science Club that was just started this year, Anjali Santillan. Welcome, Anjali.
Hi, Dominic. It's great to be here. Thank you.
So I want to start with this. Why, in the beginning, did you choose Brookdale? You know, we were going through a COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. You and I both graduated the same year in what we call the COVID class of 2020. Yours truly from Long Branch, you from Neptune. So why, in the end, did you choose Brookdale?
Yeah, so I actually spent my first semester at college at a very big school, and it was during COVID, so we had online classes, and I found that since we had very large classes, we didn't have personal attention devoted to us from the teachers. So I thought of transferring to Brookdale, especially since my boyfriend was there as well, and I heard that they deliver personal attention to each student, and I heard how much each teacher actually cares about you as a student and not just as a number, you know. So I thought it was a great choice to get my start, especially during COVID.
And as a fellow student myself, still a student here, I can second that wholeheartedly. And I remember seeing you sit with your boyfriend at graduation. It was something beautiful to see, and I'm looking forward to my moment actually next year.
Awesome.
But tell me more about your experience with the pandemic and not experiencing graduation and losing a whole bunch of privileges as a senior that usually every high school senior gets. What was your experience?
Yeah, so COVID started towards my end of senior year, and at first I was like, whoa, we don't have to go in person to school, but then I realized that I took all those things that made me happy in life for granted, like going outside, traveling and experiencing nature. All of that was kind of taken away from me, and it was pretty depressing because all I knew was my room at that point. So that was really hard, and going into college during COVID, that was rough too, because having to take only online classes, it was hard to stay motivated, and you just had to trudge through it, and it was very difficult.
Same here for all of us. It was an insanely tough pandemic, and as cases tick up in the time frame that we're doing this broadcast, it's tough because I understand you still want to wear a mask. I do too. Some in indoor settings, it's tough to watch, and it's tough to see that 2 to 3 years into this pandemic, we're still going through it. But continuing on, I want to add, you were awarded most recently the one of the most active club members by the Student Life Activities Board. I believe it was a general gold star, but no matter what, you were awarded a specific award by the Student Life Activities Department, which it also oversees my club, the Student Life Board. So it was great to see you get that award, well deserved, by the way. So I want to continue to the question of what encouraged you to create the Food and Science Club. You pioneered that club, and I remember being in that Zoom meeting with you, and all my board being so confused. What is the Food and Science Club? How are they going to combine food, eating different types of food with science? How's that? How did that come to be? And then you explained it for us, so I want you to explain it to the viewers.
Yeah, of course. So I initially came up with the idea of creating this club in December. I was already experienced in tutoring, and so due to my position as a tutor, I have this passion for breaking down very complex, big ideas into its most basic principles. And so I found that food science was kind of a way to do that, because you're relating something as complex as organic chemistry, physics. You're relating all of those natural science subjects to our food, which is something that's a big part of our daily life. So because of that connection, I thought it was a great way to interest students, no matter what their major might be, to those sciences. So that's what I found in food science, a great teaching experience.
And may I add to that, I remember you explained it to us, and I felt heard. I felt that someone read me somehow because, on a personal note, I have food allergies. So this was something that hit home for me, and I'm so happy that kids that fellow students of mine that understand the issue of possibly having a food allergy, or what is made in food is also as important as what the food looks like and how it tastes.
Yeah.
So I have to thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing that. And I think I've thanked you enough. I thank you enough many times already. So I will thank you again.
Yeah, of course.
So what is your intention with the club? What would you like to see with the club in the future?
Yeah, so I actually have this great club president, Abby Isaac, who is going to be running the club next semester. And I am so proud of her. I know that she will carry on the torch very well for this club. She already has a great array of activities planned, such as your idea for food allergies, or the making of sourdough starter, and a lot of stuff relating to our taste perception of food as well. So a lot of great activities are coming from her head alone, and I know that she will execute those ideas very well. So I'm looking forward to what she does. I'm looking forward to working with her over the summer to plan out these ideas and set them in motion.
And I want to actually backtrack a little bit. What activities did you guys do to start when you originally launched the club, when the Student Life Board approved the creation? What did you guys, what was part of the activities that you would do during college hour?
Yeah, so at the very start, we had a general interest meet, which was our infamous spicy ramen challenge. And I kind of like to think of it as a sort of induction ceremony where the students take the challenge to consume the spicy ramen, as well as learn the science behind spiciness. So that was our very first meet, and I think it was a hit. We had over at least 15 members. So that was our induction ceremony. After that, we also had the Miracle Berry experiment, where students consumed miracle berries, and that altered their taste perception. We also had even a camping trip where we talked about the science behind the Maillard reaction and caramelization process. We had snack and studies as well, and also some mini experiments where, for example, I extracted the iron out of cereal and I removed the color out of strawberries. So those are just a few examples of the activities that we had.
Yeah, and I'm actually pretty struck myself. You did those two things, take iron out of cereal and the color out of strawberries. That's pretty insane. But I also wanted to expand. You had the experience with the Food and Science Club. So what did you do as what did you major in here in Brookdale?
I majored in chemical engineering.
Okay.
So I took related classes like organic chemistry. So I thought it'd be fun to teach organic chemistry, such a high class. I've thought of bringing it to the students who didn't major in chemical engineering.
It makes a lot of sense, and a lot of my fellow students should also be thanking you for that, in my view. But also, I wanted to talk about your whole experience here, your entire experience in, of course, chemical engineering, and then your experience with the Food and Science Club, getting awarded in the recent Gold Star Awards that we held in Shadowbrook in Shrewsbury. And I could say from my own perspective that was that was a pretty crazy experience. That was a great experience at Shadowbrook in such a beautiful venue to be awarding you and many other club leaders with awards that I believe you guys really deserve after what you have done throughout the past year. Student involvement being a little bit lower than usual, but you guys still rounding up all those students to get more involved in your club, and it takes a lot, and you deserve all the recognition for it. But what has your experience as a whole been like in the past 2 years?
Yeah, so my experience at Brookdale was a nice one, to put it simply, but to go more in depth with it, I had teachers that genuinely cared about me. I had professors like Lisa Haley, who teaches engineering, who I still connect with today, and she's been a great mentor. She's been there for me academically as well as personally. So I had great professors such as her really guide me on not just on a career path, but on guide me personally. So I had that devotion handed to me by all these teachers.
And that's what Brookdale is all about. And what lessons did you learn from here that you will take throughout your life's journey? What lessons did you learn from classmates, from teachers, from mentors, from administrators that you may have bumped into? What lessons have you learned so far?
So a lesson that I learned at Brookdale that I consider probably my most important life lesson maybe is to enjoy life. When you go to a university, and I've experienced this firsthand at a big university, academia is stressful and anxiety-inducing, and it breaks you. But at Brookdale, as I've said before, I was delivered with that personal attention, and the academia at Brookdale wasn't expected to be so breaking. It wasn't supposed to break your spirit. It was supposed to be nurturing to you. And so I wasn't ingrained with that lesson that academia is supposed to crush your spirit. So I really learned to enjoy academia and just learn just to learn. So I really enjoyed life, and that was a very big life lesson I learned from Brookdale.
Well, thank you, Angeli.
Thank you, Dominic.
And with that, I want to thank you, the viewer, for watching this episode of Brookdale Newsmakers. For the first time since 2019, we are back with this program, and it's such an honor for me to be here as your host for this show. And I hope to see you next time here on Brookdale TV.